Hello, everybody. It's a Sunday afternoon 7-minute meat teaching. Speaking of meat, I got a plate of fresh beef stew right out of the can. See? Mmm. Not as good as Dinty but second, pretty close. The starting place. Have you ever asked yourself, where should I start reading the Bible? Well, Epaphras, Paul made it very clear through Epaphras. He evangelized the Lycus River Valley, where Laodicea, Colossae, and Hierapolis is located. Colossae is ruins after an earthquake. You almost cannot find any of the ruins, any of the buildings. Laodicea, you can find some buildings. Hierapolis is still inhabited. It has hot springs in that city. It's the most northern city of the Tri-Cities of the Bible of the New Testament. I am reading Colossians, the very last chapter, the 12th verse, giving you meat instruction on where to start reading the Bible and why. Epaphras, who is one of you, Colossians, a servant of Christ, salute you, always laboring fervently for you in prayer, that ye may stand mature. King James says perfect. The Greek word is mature. That you may stand mature, that or complete, that he hath a great zeal for you, Colossians. Epaphras does. He's an evangelist. He sat under Paul's teachings for 2.5 to 3 years in the headquarters, Ephesus, before he returned to his home valley, the Lycus River Valley. Stand mature or complete in all the will of God. You can find the will of God 4 times in the first chapter of Ephesians, 2 more times in the first chapter of Colossians, or this may be the second time in the letter right here. All of the will of God. 13. We are reading 4:13 of Colossians. For I bear him record, Epaphras, that he hath a great zeal for you, Colossians, and them that are in Laodicea and Hierapolis. Luke, the beloved physician, and Demas greet you. Salute the brethren which are in Laodicea at Nymphaeus, and the church, or the called out ones, which are in, King James says his house. Nymphaeus is a female name. The newer translations say in her house. She had a church in her living room in her house. Nymphaeus. 16. 4:16 of Colossians. And here it is, the most important verse. And when this epistle is read among you, Colossians, cause it to be read also in the church of the Laodiceans, which is within a day's walking distance. And that ye likewise read the epistle from the Laodicea, or the Laodiceans' epistle, in the Colossian church. You are to read these 2 letters together in all believers' living rooms for the Tri-City Valley, the Lycus River Valley. And say to Archippus, take heed to the ministry which ye hath received in the Lord, that ye fulfill it. It was Archippus's job to take the 2 letters to all 3 cities and read them in all the living rooms or the homes of the early church. Okay, now here's the secret. Ephesians headquarters for the first 300 years, from 50 AD to the Catholic Church starting in 325 AD. The Christ Way Church that the Holy Spirit and Paul started, that Timothy became a head bishop, that Tychicus helped establish Timothy in the late 90s in the first century, by 90 AD. Ephesians is a circulation letter, and we have Greek manuscripts in copies in historic present museums where in the Greek, Ephesians is not in the first verse of the letter of Ephesians. It's left blank. Why? It's left blank because Laodicea was put in the blank. It was the same letter. Here's my point. When you read Ephesians letter, you are reading the letter that came to the Laodiceans. The Ephesian letter and the Laodicean letter are the same circulation letter. So you read Colossians and Ephesians together. You study them together. You jump over the top of Philippians, land on Ephesians. When you read the first chapter of Colossians, read the first chapter of Philippians. Colossians is condensed with 4 chapters. The circulation letter, Ephesians Laodicea, is expanded with 6 chapters, a little more higher spiritual meaning and understanding. You read per instructions. I end with this. And when this epistle is read among you Colossians, cause it to be read also in the church of Laodicea, and that ye likewise read the epistle to or from the Laodiceans in the Colossian church. 7 minutes of meat teaching. Love ya. Bye.